Okay, time for another big one. We've covered two non-playable characters in Street Fighter V, Peter and 2P. But today, we're gonna knock out 8. We're gonna talk about all of the dolls.
I will not fail.
I'm going to do them in order of who I personally find least interesting to most interesting, and that definitely starts with Mars. In terms of normals, they're mostly copy-pastes of Season 1 Cammy, so there's a few differences from the Cammy we know now, such as Standing Heavy Punch being -1 on block instead of -3, Standing Medium Punch being +8 on hit instead of +7, and Crouching Jab being +2 on block instead of 0. That one in particular is something Cammy fans will miss. Also, a few of them use objects in their special attacks, and for some reason, they get stuck to them or the floor. Also, like Peter and 2P, none of them have any V system. Unlike those two though, they do have a taunt. It's a copy-paste of Cammy's. There's no voice line though. Mars is definitely the most basic of the dolls. She has no command normals. Which is strange, you'd think they would have just copy-pasted them over from Cammy. Also, for some reason, her Standing Medium Punch, while it has the same animation as Cammy's, is only +5 on hit. On the ground, she pretty much just has two combos, Heavy Normal into Laptop, or Medium Punch, Crouch Medium Punch, EX Laptop. And let's talk about that laptop. Quarter Circle Back and Punch is her laptop attack. It's very unspectacular. The only real interesting thing about it is that Heavy and EX are overheads. EX is quite unsafe, but it's fast and has a little more range. She only has a single crush counter, Standing Heavy Kick. Surprisingly, her sweep isn't a crush counter. On top of not being a crush counter, it seems to recover insanely fast. And is only -7 on block. Was Cammy sweep like this in Season 1? It's like this on most of the dolls, and it's honestly disgusting. I can't imagine having to deal with this. Next up, we have April. She's another character who just has a single special move. However, I think it's a much more interesting special move than the laptop. On top of that, she actually has a command normal, Cammy's Back Medium Punch. Quarter Circle Forward and Punch is a poison projectile with 3 different ranges. The EX version is 2 hits and is fast enough to be comboed into. Something pretty interesting about April is that her sweep is actually cancelable. What's really cool is that her poison attack actually hits OTG. Sadly, you need the crush counter to make this guaranteed, because otherwise the opponent can just do a quick recovery. While it's a shame that they're not guaranteed, you can still get some really nice looking combos with this. Including sweep, she has 3 crush counters. She has the same one as Mars, Standing Heavy Kick, and another one in Crouching Heavy Punch, which gives a juggle. Next we have Enero, the last of the dolls to have a single special move. Just one little funny thing I noticed, Enero's taunt definitely does not work. Yeah, probably shouldn't do that. While her moveset is mostly based on Cammy, she has a few unique moves that she actually takes from Kareen. She has Kareen's Standing Medium Punch, Kareen's Standing Medium Kick as Forward Medium Kick, and Kareen's Tenko Launcher. This move is interesting because it's actually input with Up and Medium Punch. I could be wrong, but I can't think of a single normal in all of Street Fighter that's input with Up and a button. It's also a real launcher, and has a target combo into it, Medium Punch, Medium Punch. Her only special move is Quarter Circle Forward and Punch. It's called Hyper Voice. The light version doesn't knock down, but medium and heavy do. The light version is +6 on hit, but it's a little hard to work with because of the pushback. The only combo I could find mid-screen was a point-blank light hyper voice into her launcher into medium hyper voice. For some reason, the medium version is the only version you can cancel into out of her launcher, both in and out of the target combo. You get some genuinely beefy combos in the corner though. Perhaps her most interesting tool though is EX Hyper Voice. It only does 100 damage, but it does 1000 stun. You can even combo into it after a crush counter stand heavy kick. This will stun anyone with less than 1000 stun. Unlike April, her sweep doesn't crush counter. But she does have the crouching heavy punch crush counter, and in the corner she gets a little more off it. Surprisingly, Dicaprio is actually one of the less interesting dolls in my opinion. She doesn't really have as much going on as I expected. She has no unique normals, but she does have Cammy's forward heavy kick, and her back medium punch, including the target combo. She's the only member of the dolls to have unique throws. She does have an air throw, but the whiff animation is very strange, and it doesn't seem to work at max height. I think that the reason the air throw has these issues is that Dicaprio can jump cancel the second hit of her target combo to land air throw, and that's the only context that the CPU will ever go for it. Sadly, it's only jump cancelable, and you can't really get anything else. It feels like Dicaprio's medium and heavy punches have slightly more range. Sadly, this isn't as useful as you'd think, because for some reason, stand heavy punch isn't special cancelable. Dicaprio has two special moves. Quarter circle back and punch is Psycho Sting. Stronger versions have more hits. They're all unsafe. Light and medium are -11, heavy is -10, and EX is -7. It has a good bit of pushback, but it's still punishable by most characters. They're all pretty much just combo enders. The EX version is the only one fast enough to combo from lights, and funnily enough, her only cancelable light normal is standing light kick. Quarter circle forward and kick is scramble. The light version is just a command dash. Medium and heavy are command jumps. The light version doesn't really do anything, but the medium and heavy ones have a few different enders. If you press light punch or medium punch, Dicaprio comes straight back down. If you press heavy punch, she has an unsafe ground slam. You can jump cancel this on hit. Pressing any kick button gives you a dive kick. If you don't input anything for a while, you can input regular jump normals out of it. And if you time it just right, you can keep the momentum. Dicaprio only has one crush counter, standing heavy kick. Also, while it's not a crush counter or anything, I have to admit, crouching heavy punch looks like a really good poke. It's only -2 on block as well. Also, I don't know if it's like this for all the dolls, but Dicaprio has jiggle physics and Cammy doesn't. It's kinda hard to see, you're gonna have to trust me on this one, I got an eye for this kind of shit. You have Fevier. She has all of Cammy's command normals. However, she has some unique target combos. Her first target combo is light kick, medium kick. It's kinda neat, but it doesn't do much. You can get some Street Fighter 2 looking combos with it. Her second target combo is quite strange. It's medium punch, heavy punch. This doesn't even look like a target combo, it just looks like Cammy's regular link. However, if you look at my inputs, you can see that I'm inputting heavy punch immediately after medium punch. And it still works. She has two special moves, and we'll get the more boring of the two out of the way first. Quarter circle forward and kick is a cross up. It's kind of like Chun-Li's down forward heavy kick, however, you can use different buttons to give different ranges. However, unlike Chun-Li's, it's only -2 on block. I swear Chun-Li's is like -7 or -8, so this is pretty neat. It's +7 on hit, so you get some decent combos. So there's that other special move we gotta talk about. Quarter circle forward and punch is a gun blast. It's a great combo ender that has some fun properties. Different versions fire at different angles. The heavy one can only hit people in the air. In the same vein as Enero's hyper voice, you can only cancel into the medium one after a target combo. Where things get really cool though is EX Gun Blast. This move is really cool. For a start, it's very fast. I think it's frame 8, so you can just link into it. What makes this move so fun is the potential for juggles. You can get some pretty wacky damage with this. From what I can tell, your max damage is EX Gun Blast, Heavy Gun Blast, EX Gun Blast. It's 2 bars, but none of the dolls have a super, so you might as well go for it. She has 2 crush counters, standing heavy kick, and crouching heavy punch, although she gets a lot more of this crush counter than the other characters who have it. Next, we have Julie. She has one unique normal, and that's forward medium kick. It's Kareen's overhead. Also, she's missing Cammy's forward heavy kick. Forward medium kick is a real overhead, and it's safe at -3. However, you might have noticed that the animation breaks a little bit. She has 3 special moves. Quarter circle back and punch is Axel Spin Knuckle. It's kinda like Cammy's V-Skill 1. Shoryuken and kick is Cannon Spike. Both of these moves have no EX version, and in fact, all 3 versions are the exact same. Her last special move is the most interesting in my opinion, because all 4 versions behave very differently. Quarter circle forward and kick is Sniping Arrow. Light is a pretty basic combo ender. Heavy is significantly slower, but medium is 2 hits, which is kinda strange. EX has a special flip ender. Looks pretty neat. A standing heavy punch is very strange. It only special cancels to the medium version of Arrow, and the light and heavy versions of Spin Knuckle. Very peculiar. Unlike Cammy, Spin Knuckle launches. But to compensate, it's -1 on block instead of +2. Mid-screen, you get a juggle into light Sniping Arrow. Or heavy kick if you want the damage. You can also get a juggle to Cannon Spike. However, I wouldn't recommend it outside of the corner. It does the same damage as Sniping Arrow because you get the late hit of Cannon Spike, while being harder to do and giving you worse Oki. Light Arrow is surprisingly safe for how fast it is. It's only -5. Medium is -9, Heavy is -6, and EX is -12. If you cancel into it from target combo, Medium Arrow gets 1 hit, allowing you to juggle into an uppercut. This seems to be her max meterless damage mid-screen. For some reason, it's kind of range specific. If you do a crouch jab before the target combo, for example, Cammy gets launched away a lot further, and you can't land an uppercut. I don't know why this is the case, it's pretty strange. Since you can't cancel standing heavy punch to EX Arrow, you're gonna have to use target combo. This isn't practical, but it's still kinda cool. You can combo a spaced heavy arrow into a light arrow. Julie has kind of a bizarre problem, where for the most part, her combos are actually more limited in the corner. Target combo to heavy arrow works. However, her max damage is medium punch, heavy punch, medium arrow. It only does 1 more damage, but it does a good bit more stun. What's unfortunate is that in the corner you can combo Heavy Arrow into Cannon Spike. But not after target combo, which is the one place you'd be able to land Heavy Arrow. This is a huge shame. She has 2 crush counters, the typical heavy kick one, and crouching heavy punch. You can only get Cannon Spike in the corner. Mid-screen, you just get a medium kick. In terms of design, Santamur is by a mile my favourite of the dolls. However, she has some pretty cool stuff gameplay-wise as well. Santamur doesn't have much in the way of unique normals, but what she does have is quite interesting. She doesn't have Cammy's back medium punch. However, she does have Cammy's forward heavy kick. The heavy kick target combo is still intact, but you do it with light kick instead of back medium punch. This is absolutely amazing. Unlike Cammy, Santamur's heavy kick doesn't whiff on crouch. So you're not missing out on the 4 stand properties of back medium punch. This just gives you a target combo with really good range. It gives you some really impressive linking ability. She has 2 special moves. Shoryuken and Punch is non-stop attack. All 3 versions are the same, and you can't EX it. Quarter Circle Forward and Punch throws a spear. The light version is fast, but knocks down. The medium version is slow, but leaves the opponent standing. The heavy and EX versions start with non-stop attack, and then throw a spear. It's just as fast, and does slightly more damage than non-stop attack. The EX version also has a ridiculous vacuum effect. Non-stop attack has a tiny bit more range than heavy spear though, so it's good in her light confirms. Light spear is also a very good combo ender because of its range. While it doesn't have as much range as light spear, EX spear is also a great combo ender because it has a vacuum effect. If you're close, medium spear is +6, so you can combo out of it. The only way to combo into spear is crush counter heavy kick. Her other crush counter is crouching heavy punch, and like a lot of the other dolls, she just gets a medium kick mid-screen. In the corner you get non-stop attack though, which is pretty nice. In my opinion, Satsuki is definitely the most interesting of the dolls. For a start, she actually takes a lot of normals from Laura. Standing light punch, stand heavy punch, crouching light punch, crouch heavy punch, standing medium kick, crouching medium kick, and has Laura's medium punch as back medium punch. Back medium punch is actually a little bit different than it is on Laura. It hits twice. And she has a target combo into it, stand light punch, medium punch. This strange blend of Cammy and Laura normals actually gives her some really cool links. On a crouching opponent, you can get all 3 hits of her target combo instead of 2 light normals. Satsuki has 3 special moves. Shoryuken and Kick is a somersault grab. It only works on standing opponents, but it looks pretty neat. Quarter Circle Forward and Kick is a slide. It hits low and is her best combo ender, but there's no EX version. One thing that's kinda nice, it can actually hit OTG. Sadly, she has no guaranteed way to land this, because she has no crush counter sweep. As you would have probably guessed, it's very unsafe on block. -19 point blank. The safest I could get it to be was -6. Her last special move is perhaps her most interesting, and one of the most interesting of all the dolls. It's a sword attack that you do with Quarter Circle Forward and Punch. It has massive range, but you can't combo into it without a crush counter. The light version is only -3 on block, and while the medium version is -8, it has such long range that I'd imagine it'd be quite hard to punish. Heavy and EX are quite interesting though. Now Heavy is quite unsafe at -10, but you might have noticed it did 60 chip damage on block. EX only does 50, but it has something else interesting. It has a unique animation of the sword breaking on block. There's a good reason the EX version is so much worse on block, because it has a unique mechanic that would be really dumb if you could just throw the move out willy-nilly. Light and medium work as you'd expect on counter hit. But Heavy and EX are crush counters, and they're unique ones. Heavy does 70 more damage and 100 more stun when it crush counters. EX does a whopping 200 more damage and 150 extra stun. Because of how unsafe this is, you don't want to throw this out. You want to save it for punish scenarios, where it's incredibly rewarding. She has the usual heavy kick crush counter. However, she has a unique one in crouching heavy punch. One last thing I probably should have mentioned earlier, I think the dolls have 850 health. I've done a few tests to see how much damage they take, but I'm still not completely sure. You're asking a guy who got 16% in a meds test, so yeah. To finish up, there are technically 3 more dolls, but they don't have unique movesets. These are Zayu and Janyu. Sorry if I butchered the names. The last doll, whose name I'm also probably going to butcher, is Noembalu. She's apparently a member of T-Hawk's tribe and has tomahawks. This is another doll I'd be interested in potentially seeing in a future game. So there you go, a look at all the dolls in Street Fighter V. It'll probably be a long time before I get to the soldiers, but either way, I hope you really enjoyed.